Hi guys, I'm Tongtong. Today I'm gonna talk a little bit about my exchange semester in China. The university I went to was the Peking University. I study business, so I went to the Guanghua School of Management. I received over hundreds of questions, so I thought I'm just gonna put it all in a video and talk a little bit about it. First, a little bit about myself. I'm 22 years old and I am actually German. So yeah, my university I go to is called Humboldt University. It's in Berlin, and Peking University is actually collaborating with my uni. I only had to apply at my uni, and it took about a couple of months. I didn't have to pay any tuition fees or any fees for my school, but I had to pay my own apartment. If you were lucky enough, then you would get like a dormitory room, but I wasn't lucky enough. How expensive is it to live in China? I would say it's definitely cheaper than in Germany. I was living with 4 others. I paid about 600 euros for my room, and my room was like 16 square meters. I used an app called Ziru to find my apartment. Speaking about costs, how much I spend per month, I did not hold back. So I went at least once or twice to another city. So I paid with the rent about 2,000 euros, which is quite a lot. But considering I was traveling and flying around China, it's cheaper than if you would travel in Europe. Hotel and food was quite cheap. Only sometimes the flights were a little bit more expensive, especially if you were traveling during holidays. Then you can definitely spend over 300 or 400 euros for your flight. I was eating a lot at my canteen. Price range was about 2 euros to 5 euros for one meal. So now I covered food, traveling, living. How about shopping? I've spent so much money on Taobao, which is like Amazon but much better. It's super cheap and you get pretty good quality stuff, not only clothes but literally anything. In general, first month you would spend a lot of money also buying furniture or anything you need for housing. Let's move on talking about how the government is in China. Honestly, I did not really notice much of a difference. Okay, you see cameras almost everywhere. I think you get used to it. The only thing that's very different to Europe is whenever you enter a train station, you will always get security check, which you also would have to do at an airport. It's not that strict. So for example, if you have a water bottle, you have to drink 1 sip to prove that it's safe. Whenever I was around Chinese people, we never talked about politics. Which city in China I would recommend? Definitely Shanghai. A lot of internationals are there. A lot of people speak English, which I think is nice. If you want more the traditional China, then go to Xi'an, Wuhan. To be honest, for me, the cyberpunk city, Chongqing, was kind of disappointing because it was very dirty. There were a lot of people. Honestly, have 5 attractions, and after that, you don't really know what to do. I was trying to go to 2 clubs. I could not find it because the city has 11 levels. Some of the buildings you can't really use the elevator because it's occupied the whole time and there's a huge line, or it's just not working, so you have to walk a lot, a lot of stairs. The food was super spicy. I always got diarrhea. Sorry, but I wouldn't spend more than 2 days there. So Xi'an, Wuhan, Chongqing, Sichuan, they're really close to each other. I would recommend to see all of those 4 cities. My favorite area in China is the south. So in the south, I have the best food. The climate is not as enjoyable because it's very humid and hot in summer. I would suggest you to go in April or May. For example, you can go to Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Shunde. I can also recommend you to go to Hong Kong. So Hong Kong and Shenzhen, they're really close to each other. I think only 1 hour by bus. What is my best experience in China? It's very convenient. You have bikes everywhere and you just pay 2 euros per month. You can literally take the bike anytime. You never have problems with taking the public transport. It's always working. Compared to Berlin, compared to Germany, I don't even want to compare. You don't have to take your keys or your wallet. You just need your phone. If you lose your phone, you're fucked. The next thing is you only need WeChat and maybe the 高德地图, which is the Chinese version of Google Maps. Because on WeChat, you have all those apps you need. You have your wallet, you can book flights, hotels, you can deliver food. WeChat is also at the same time Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, and TikTok. It's crazy. So whenever you go to China, download WeChat because everyone, they use WeChat. If you don't have Chinese bank card, I would suggest you to use Alipay because you can connect your foreign visa with it. The next app, you will need VPN. I suggest you to download a couple of VPNs before your arrival in China because in China, sometimes you can't download them. I recommend you Mulva VPN or V+. I've heard that Astral VPN is also working, but it's very expensive. Now let's talk a little bit about insurance. I had my insurance in Germany and that was fine, but also you get an insurance at your uni. When I went to China, I also had to pay a little bit to my uni, so I was like insured for any accident. How did my Chinese improve? Yes, my Chinese improved. I am Chinese. I moved to Germany when I was 7, so for me it was quite easy to communicate with them. Locals, since I was like at the best university in China, it was very hard to communicate with them because they were always studying. So what I can recommend is going or joining clubs, like student clubs, for example, drawing, guitar, dancing club, sports clubs. I joined, but I didn't go. So honestly, I didn't have many local friends, which I regret because it's the easiest way to learn a language. For me, I also got more fluent in Chinese, but I didn't really learn in terms of like writing because all my classes were in English. Since we're talking about languages, if you only speak English, it's a little bit hard because a lot of Chinese people in Beijing don't really speak English. But you have all those translator, which is very helpful. If you're a Chinese citizen, can you also join the exchange program? As far as I know, in my uni, not. But I know that there were some Chinese citizens from other countries or studying in other countries. They were able to attend. I'm not really sure about this program. I know that you have to pay. You have to pay to get in. Most challenging part of being a student in China, I felt really lonely. I just feel like a lot of drama is going on in those international groups. I'm just not used to the drama. I learned a lot in my entire semester, especially the part of being alone, of being comfortable, traveling alone, and like just spending a lot of time with myself. How hard was it to study at the most famous university in China? I know for Chinese students, it's quite hard because, for example, I had like 5 modules, but I know that like the Chinese students, they had like more than 12 modules. Of course, for me, it was like easier because I didn't have that many exams. In general, it's more like going to a school. You have attendance, you have to participate, you have exams, you have presentations, group projects, homeworks, etc. It was still not too hard. Compared to my uni in Germany, the level was a little bit easier because I think also the English classes are in general easier. Things I enjoyed the most was definitely get to know a lot of people from all over the world, and you really get to know really smart people and kind of feel inspired, more motivated to work on yourself, as well as the uni. Everyone, they're like really studying hard. Since the lifestyle in China was so different, you can really compare, and I honestly can imagine myself living in China because you have a really high standard of living. Oh, of course, and the food. Wow, the food was amazing. The food in China is the best in Asia, I think. The worst thing I already talked about is I was feeling lonely. I had quite some stomach issues, and the toilets. Oh my god, the toilets were so disgusting. Wow, the toilets are usually quite dirty. Okay, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have more questions, let me know in the comments. Bye!